This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Okay, so today we are doing an unhaul. We're doing the Unhaul challenge, actually, which was created by Books and Lala. Her original video will be linked down in the description. My bookshelves are full, and I am still reading new books, which means that I have books on my floor that need to be put on the shelf. That was my reading schedule. It's fine. I have books that need to be put on the shelf, but there's no space for them. So I decided it was time to do an unhaul because I know that I have books on here that I could easily get rid of, that aren't valuable to me, that I don't talk about a lot on the channel, that I'm not going to reread. But instead of just doing a random go through my shelves and do the thing, I figured let's do a fun challenge. Because why not? So she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 books on this challenge that she wants me to get rid of. 10 books isn't a lot. What if I do 2 books per challenge question? That's 20 books. I think I could do that. There's a lot of books on these shelves. Let's do it. So 10 questions, 20 books to get rid of by the end of this video. Go. First question, a book you rated low. Do I keep books I rated low? The problem with this video already is that I didn't look at the questions in advance, so they're probably going to be books that will fit prompts that I'm going to pull too early. Oh well. Okay, first book in this video is going to be Red Rising, which is already going to be fun to read the comments on. I didn't like this book, and I made a lot of people mad about that. I did end up liking books 2 and 3. It's still, even after finishing the whole trilogy, it's not really the series for me, but I understand and appreciate the love for it, and I did end up enjoying the next books, but I listened to them on audiobook. I got the second book from the library, and the third book I listened to on audiobook, so I don't own them. So it's kind of pointless for me to only own the book in the trilogy that I didn't care for, and then not own the ones that I actually liked. So, unhaul. And no, I'm not gonna buy 2 books that I've already read for a series that overall I appreciated but didn't love. And then I have All the Missing Girls, which I don't remember anything about. I don't think I rated it low. I think I rated it kind of like medium. I may have given it a 3, but I don't remember anything about it, and I know I'm not going to reread it. Next book is a book you changed your mind about. Oh, so I used to like, and now I don't like, or wouldn't like. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go with the selection series. I'm already beating myself at my own game. So the selection series is a series that I loved so much when I first started BookTube. So much. It's basically The Bachelor, but somehow even more dramatic, more intense, more over the top. Girl goes off to she gets entered into this competition, and she gets selected as one of the girls that get into this dating competition with the prince to become the new. It's over the top. It's intense, and I loved every moment of it, except for the elite. I didn't like the elite. But every other moment of it, oh, I also didn't like the crown. Every other moment of it, I adored so much. I think I read this series at least 3 times, but the last time I read it, I realized, oh man, I don't think I like this anymore. But I held on to it because it held so many good memories. But I think it's time. It's just sitting at the bottom shelf full of books that I'll pass on to my kids someday, but I'm probably not going to pass these on to my kids because there's other books that I'd like for them to read. A lot more than that series. So away you go. Even though you've done wonderful things for me, you've been a series I've loved, it is time for you to let someone else love you. A series you won't be completing. Ooh, okay, yeah, that'll be an easy one. One of these things no one's gonna care about, and one of these things is gonna make some people mad. So, Love and Gelato. I used to be super into YA contemporary books, and I'm not into them so much anymore. Now if I want to read a romance, I go in a different direction, I guess. So I had Lucky in Love. I bet I still have it, actually. There's a bookshelf back here that y'all never see that's just full of books that I want to read someday. Love and Luck. So I guess I'll get rid of both of these, which means that I don't have to get rid of the controversial one. Nah, I'll still get rid of it. I'm gonna get rid of these because I've had Love and Luck since I finished Love and Gelato, and I still haven't gotten to it, and it's just not gonna happen. So someone else will appreciate it more. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of 20th Century Boys. I read the first 2, and I enjoyed them, but I didn't love them, and I've never continued on with the third volume, even though I own it. And now I'm so deep into One Piece, and I have a lot of manga in this room that subscribers have sent me that appeal to me more, and I know I'm gonna get to them faster than I'm gonna get to this, which means I'm probably just never gonna get to this. So I know this is a really well-loved manga, but I don't think it's for me. Book you DNF'd, did not finish. Do I keep books I DNF'd? Oh, I do! Kings of the Wild is the obvious choice, but I do really want to retry this one sometime. I want to retry Good Omens eventually as well. Okay, I have two books for this. Battle Royale, which I bought because growing up I loved The Hunger Games. This is how far I got in it, by the way. Growing up I loved The Hunger Games, and I wanted to see the book that came before it that, you know, The Hunger Games was really similar to. And Battle Royale, I think this is like the first in this kind of genre of this sort of story. And I read a good chunk of it, but I don't know, I just didn't really, I couldn't get into it. There were a lot of characters, and it was a lot of changing perspectives, and I couldn't keep them straight. And I'm sure once I got deeper into the battle, I would have been able to do so. I know a lot of people wanted me to continue this, but I just don't think that I ever will pick it back up. I've held on to it for a long time, thinking that someday I'll give it another try, but I don't think I will. And the other one is The Survivors, which is a I think it's like a mystery thriller, maybe? I didn't get very deep into it. I couldn't get into it. And then I said I'd come back to it, but I'm probably not going to. A book you have multiple copies of. Well, if I have multiple copies, it's probably for... Oh, actually! Oathbringer. I don't know why I have multiple copies of this, if I'm honest with you. That one is annotated, because I annotate all of my Stormlight books while I read through them. And I just have this one that just exists. And I've never gotten rid of it. So I guess I should. Oh, you know what? This could probably go in books I changed my mind about. I really enjoyed this book when it first came out, The Savior's Champion. And it was before I read fantasy, and now that I do read fantasy, before I read fantasy, my biggest complaint about this was that the magic system wasn't really explained and the world building wasn't very in-depth. And those are like my two really big things for me now. So I just don't really think I would like this as much now, and I don't plan on continuing on with the series. Can I count that for the prompt that I'm trying to fulfill? Book that I have multiple copies of. I have multiple copies of Assassin's Apprentice. Yeah. I have a pretty copy and I have this copy. I'll get rid of this copy. I got it at a secondhand store for like $1. A book you'll never actually get to. Oh, okay, I was only trying to clean out my red shelves, but that is a TBR thing. So, Love and Luck counts. Does it? Because I used it for another prompt. That's okay. Alright, that's fine. What is it again? A book you'll never actually get to. I believe in myself for this one. The Girl in the Mirror and The Wife Upstairs. These are both Book of the Month books. Usually when Book of the Month, they send me 5 books for the ads that I do, and I usually will keep like 2 of them for, yes, definitely I want to read these, but then I'll probably keep one more of like a, yeah, maybe, probably I'll get to it someday. But these are both domestic thrillers. And honestly, most domestic thrillers are the same thing, and I'm starting to get really tired. Oh no, that's so mean. But it's true though. I'm starting to get to where I read a domestic thriller and I'm like, okay, it was a good time, but overall, nothing new happened here. So I kind of am just not picking them up anymore. So I'm probably not gonna read those. Book you bought because of the hype? Why do you keep attacking my TBR? I want to get rid of the books that I've read. Well, if I bought it because of the hype, I probably still want to read it. Okay, this is kind of a weird way to do this because I bought them for different hype. So once upon a time, I was in a really big reading slump and I wasn't liking anything I read. So I went to Twitter, back when I used Twitter. You know, it was a long time ago. You don't know my life. It was a long time ago. So anyway, I took to Twitter and I said, hey, recommend me some of your abstract books that you really loved. And I read a couple of them. And then a couple of them are still on my shelves. We have Madness of Sunshine, which is a murder mystery, which at the time I didn't know that I don't really care for murder mysteries. And we have Meet Me Under the Amu Tree, which is a romance. And I just don't think I'll probably read it. I'm sorry to the people that recommended that to me like 4 years ago. Book you bought because of the cover. Okay, I'm going to my red shelves for this. This I'm doing this wrong technically because this is a book of the month book, so I didn't buy it, but I did buy this one. So I definitely picked this up largely because of the cover, also just because it has the word Gothic in the title. I love Gothic stories, and I did ultimately enjoy this for the most part, but I also had about as many critiques as I had likes about it, and overall it was solid, but it wasn't like I didn't love it. So I know I'm not going to reread it, and I know I'm probably not going to recommend it very much on my channel, so someone else will be able to enjoy it more if I give it to the library. And then Little Secrets, I did enjoy. I liked the beginning and I liked the end. The middle was pretty boring, but again, it's like domestic thrillers just aren't doing it for me anymore, and I know I'll never reread it. Maybe I should keep it because it is a good one to recommend for at least a domestic thriller that's a little bit different. Hang on, I'm gonna change my mind. Pretty Little Wife, oh no, it's another book of the month. Listen, I read a lot of book of the month that I love, but I can't love them all. Pretty Little Wife, again, it's a domestic thriller. It was enjoyable at the time, but it's also just like every other domestic thriller. I'm so mean. I'm so sorry. I don't like insulting an entire genre. It was enjoyable. I liked it, but it didn't do a lot that was different. So I'm going to get rid of it. That did not fit the prompt even a little. Can we pretend that it did though? The stack is getting large. Book you don't know anything about. That's gonna have to be a TBR book again. I'm gonna skip this prompt. Does that mean I failed the challenge? Sure. Why not? But I don't want to get rid of a book that I don't know anything about because I might like it. A book you didn't buy. Well, that's most books. Most books I get for like birthdays and Christmases and... Okay, I'll just go through and grab a couple more that I would like to get rid of. The stack is almost as tall as I am, sitting down. Okay, gonna be controversial again. Norse mythology. I saved the stack. You can't even see it. You don't know how skilled I am. Norse mythology is, I love Neil Gaiman. I didn't love this. Not because it was bad, it was actually very good. It's just that I'm not really that into Norse mythology. And this was him retelling Norse myths with his own spin to it, which was great, and people loved it when we read it, but it wasn't for me. So why is it on my shelf? 11/22/63, which is also a book that is genuinely good. There was a lot of blank space. There was a lot of nothing happening. It was a lot slower than I needed it to be. King really likes his side tangents and his extremely slow pacing, and it's just, I liked the premise of it, I liked the idea of it, and I liked points of it, but I ended up having mixed feelings because I do feel like there was a side plot that took over like a quarter of this book that could have taken over like 20 pages. So I'm not going to reread it, and I think someone else will enjoy it more. I don't have bad feelings about this book. It just wasn't perfectly for me. And I think that's fine. And now an ad with Squarespace. There's an embarrassing picture of me online. That's it. Time for me to go off the grid. So you've decided it's finally time for you to completely go off the grid. You don't want people to be able to find you. You don't want people to see those embarrassing pictures that someone posted about you. Frankly, you're just tired of being online. This is perfectly reasonable, but the best way to do this is by documenting your journey of going off the grid with your new website through Squarespace. Squarespace has a powerful blogging tool, so you can post your photos, videos, and updates on how you're choosing to disconnect and hide in your very own personal blog. Categorize, share, and schedule your posts to make your content work for you. And when you finish going completely off the grid and no one can find you, you can set up appointment scheduling with your Squarespace website. Add online booking and scheduling for your classes or sessions so that you can help other people go off the grid as successfully as you have. Clients can easily see your availability and reschedule if needed. So if you're ready to go off the grid, like me, head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, use the link in my description for 10% off your first website or domain. Don't go off the grid by yourself. Document it with Squarespace. No! Don't fall! In my defense, I didn't expect this stack to be this large. If I knew it would have been, I would have put it in the frame. These. Oh my goodness, they're not even all gonna fit into the frame. Okay, so these are some of the books that I'm unhauling. They didn't even all fit in this stack. There's still some on the floor. They're all going to the library, if you were curious, so other people will get to enjoy them. And I think that that's important, because why would they just sit on my shelves for no reason when other people could love them? Obviously, any book that doesn't work for me doesn't make it a bad book, it makes it a not book for me. I would love to hear if there are any books in this stack that you personally have loved or that you want to read and see what you think of it. I hope you enjoyed this unhaul challenge. Check out my Patreon if you feel like it. I post videos every Tuesday through Friday. I'll see you again soon. Bye.